Hello, all. We are now going to look into another session on activity types. Okay, what are activity types? How do we create them? So let me just read out. So I have a particular activity called activity labor, and in this activity labor, I want to assign 10 hours or let's say 1,000 hours for this particular month. So how do I assign that particular activity hours? So to labor hours, if I want to capture, I need to create an activity. If you remember from the PP settings, we have assigned certain formulas, right? That also comes in picture here when you do the work center. So these activities are carried out in work center. So activities are carried out in work center. Using a secondary cost element 43 series account, we assign them onto either cost center or production order or to a project or a WBS element within the project. So you can assign activities against a cost center, against order, against project also. That is the functionality of an activity. The activity type classifies the activities performed within a company by one or several cost centers, right? So you can have the same, let's say you have a production unit where you have multiple work centers. The first work section is, let us say, cleaning or washing, and then second one will be decolorizing, and then the next one is let's say color breaking it into sugar cubes, okay, and then packing. So you have four work centers. In all the four work centers you typically have labor activities. So for each work center you assign a cost center, and then you distribute your total activities across each of these activities, right? If a cost center provides service for other cost centers, orders and process, this means that the resources of the cost center are used. The cost of these resources need to be allocated to the receivers of the activity. So canteen cost center, it has certain activities which it can distribute across multiple different cost centers. So this can marketing cost center, service cost center, repairs and maintenance cost center. So you can accumulate cost and you can distribute it into multiple receivers, and that receiver can be another cost center or a production order or a project or a WBS element in a project. The system calculates the associated cost based on the activity price and generates a debit to the receiver and a credit to the cost center. So now what I will do is, first I will go and I will create an activity type, right? So let me see. Okay. So what is the booking that takes place? This is also something I will explain to you. So let us first look at the activity. When I am creating an order, right, through activity confirmation, the activity is debit your order, credit goes to the cost center. So this is during the month. This is during the month when I am carrying out the production. I don't know what is the actual wages I will be paying at the end of the month or actual salaries. So I do not know the value of actual costs. That is the reason I go with the planned cost and I use a secondary cost element here, 943 series, right? The debit goes to order and credit goes to cost center. Now when you book the actual expenses at the end of the month, right, you will debit your primary cost element. Look here, this is the primary cost element, and credit goes to either bank or cash or provision for expense payable. Now when you settle these costs, right, you have one more entry, redistribute the cost to production cost center. What happens? Using a secondary cost element 42 series, okay, we call it assessment cost center. See what you are doing, you are debiting the production cost center and crediting the primary cost center. So the primary cost center got its debit during the month end. During month end, you run the allocation cycle. You take this cost and charge it to the production cost center. This is what I was saying. Imagine this is the cost at the canteen or the security cost, which has a separate cost center. I do not want to disturb the primary cost center, so I make use of a secondary cost element and then I charge it. So you will need to see how this is getting executed, then you will have greater clarity. So at the production cost center level, you can see the entry gets nullified. At the production cost center, the first entry comes at the time of planning. The second entry based on actuals came for $120 or rupees, right? You have a variance of this 20. This 20 gets settled as part of variance settlement. Okay. So this is activity. As of now, I'll create how to create the activities. I'll show you. But when we actually execute the entire production cycle, I will show you the rest of the components also. So create secondary cost element. I have already done the secondary cost element, so you need not do it again. So go to FS00. Okay, FS00. In 43 series, I have created the secondary cost element. If you look here, 43 series, labor activity, machine, power, fuel, and I'm going to create 6 different, activities. So I'll go to the T code /n KL01. KL01 is for activity. Your controlling area is by default selected. If you do not have your controlling area, go to extras and set controlling area, and here you can give your controlling area. Okay, let's start. I will give it ID B101. You can give it like this B101, or you can give it as labor itself. I'll give B101. Okay, and I'll say it is valid from 1/4/2024 and say enter. That's all. Now here you give the name of the activities, labor activity. Okay, so labor activity. So activity units are always in hours. Okay, labor activity is in hours. So go back and give labor activity costs. Labor activity costs. What are the cost center categories for which this activity is applicable? I will provide a star, but you can say this particular activity is only carried in marketing, or it is only done in production. So you can choose, but I will choose star. Okay, so select star and say okay, continue. So star comes here. Activity type category. So here you give one manual entry, manual allocation. Okay, then here price indicator, again you give one manual entry price automatically based on activity. I'll show you how it gets calculated. Okay, look at it here, price, planned price automatically based on activity. Based on activity, is this getting, or is it based on capacity? Right, we are doing it based on activity. And here in price indicator you give, for actual allocation the price indicator is 5. For actual allocation the price indicator is 5. Just save this, that's all. So allocation cost element, this is an allocation cost element. What is the cost element for this? 943,550,60 very, very important. So as I said, an activity is assigned to a secondary cost element. The activity is assigned to secondary cost element. Save. Then create the next one, B102. So I can create that as a copy of B101 itself, B101 in controlling area B100. I'll say copy based on that, but this is for machine activity. So machine activity cost. So machine activity cost. This is in hours, but the cost element, secondary cost element is 2. So I enter 2. Rest of it, everything is same. Okay, same. The next activity is B103. Okay, B103 I will copy it from B101 itself, or else I will say copy it from T103 from controlling area T100. Done, enter. So readily B103 is power cost. It is measured in kilowatts. It is applicable for all categories. So the cost element is 943,003, etc. So all these things are done as in planning, and 5, save. Then go to 4, B104 is fuel cost. Okay, and again I copy it from T104, which is from controlling area T100. I am copying it. This is fuel cost, same secondary cost element, everything is same. Okay, same. Then I have 105. Okay, B105, enter. From T105 I want to copy this from T100 controlling area. I'm copying this. This is for repairs and maintenance. Okay, and this is measured in hours. Star 005 is the secondary cost element. Rest of it are same. One more secondary cost element I will create, 106. So I'll create it again manually. Okay, not as a copy, but I can do that. So this is quality cost. Again, this is applicable for all cost center categories. So this is measured in hours. Let's say hours. Cost center categories. So cost center categories, I would say this is star for all categories. actual activity type category 1, okay. Secondary cost element is 6, 943, 6 zeros and 6, okay. Price indicator is 1, and then here actual price indicator is 5. Very important. Price indicator is 1, okay. This again I will show you to you KSBT report. So you will say this price indicator for is 1 here. So look here, planned price indicator is 1, actual price indicator is 5. Just see. So you have created 6 different activities. I want to group them together. So what I will do now, I'll go to KLH3. The transaction code is /n KLH3, okay. No, not a H3, H1 /n KLH1, okay. So I am going to create B100 ACTVT, all activity. Let's say I will create a group called ACTVT. Then I'll say B100 all activity types, okay. Enter, select this B100 and assign activity type, give the range B101 to B106. Look at it, all the activity types gets assigned, okay. Save, okay. Now how do I use this? So let me show you the path for this. /n, okay. Search for what was it, KL01. So the path is accounting, controlling, cost center accounting, master data. In master data, activity type. In activity type, individual processing, KL01. If you want to create the group, actual activity type group, KLH1. If you want to display, you can display through KLH3. So I will collapse this now. I'm not doing master data. I want to do planning, okay. Planning, I want to say how many hours or liters I'm going to consume against a particular cost center, right? So I'll go here, planning aids. Let me see here, transfer here, KP 26 is the one, cost center budget, allocations, not here. Yeah, here KP 26. In KP 26, always we plan against a particular cost center. So I go here 0 from period 1 to period 12. I'll say fiscal year 2024, okay. So instead of, I can select a group or I can select all the activity types in a particular group. I'll say cost center, for which cost center I am doing, B100, okay. And cost center was GB 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, okay. So select form based, okay, and give here the values, okay. So it is giving some error. So GB001 does not exist, maybe GB002 exists. We have created this cost center. So you will assign, okay, even this is not there, that surprises me. So it is B101, I believe, B101. The B101 is a cost center. No, hard luck. Okay, we did create some cost center. So let me go and search a cost center that exists. So it is searching in company code T100. So I should select it as B100. B100, search here, there are two cost centers. So BB10, okay, BB10 GB002. So here I will select it and here I can plan. So now what is happening? Errors occurred during the test field activity type. Check what is that. Okay, basis the SAP system could not determine any valid characteristic values in the planned period for activity type. Lot of these are because I have not even activated ledger and many other settings. So I'll have to wait. Rather, I will show you another controlling area where I can show this one, extras. Go to extras, okay. Let's select OKKS. Let me select and set the controlling area as OKKS, okay. Here I will give controlling area as B, not B100, T100. So let me again go to OKKS, /OKKS, okay. It is T100. In T100, Go to KP26. I'll show you the values how I have planned it before. Select a cost center here T101, let's say GB 0001. Okay, activity is T101 to T106. Okay, this I will remove. Okay, I'm just showing it to you how I have planned. So say okay. Okay, you can see. So I have planned 36,000, 60,000, 24,000, 9,600, and various other factors, right? This is how you give the, this is the quantity. This is the quantity, number of hours, number of units of power, number of liters of fuel. It will, this cost center you are planning to consume. So you give it there. These are auto calculated. Okay, there is another session called the planned activity rate calculation. So you can visit that how I do the planned activity rate calculation. In that I will be explaining, or I have already explained. So just check that video, you will be able to understand. So save this. I'm not making any changes for now. So that's all for today for in the activity type. Okay. So we have seen the demo, and thank you. I'll be covering all of these topics. So stay tuned. Please make best use of it. Thank you very much.